Hey, what's up guys? It's Rico here, CEO of Source in Asia, Coast to Main Channel podcast, and the host of the Source in Asia YouTube channel. Of course, back with another one. This is my first DSLR recording in probably since the lockdown, to be honest. I moved into this condo March 15th, Icon Plaza, and a big part of the reason why I moved into this condo is this lovely infinity pool and the other smaller pool and the gym facilities, and they just got opened up about a week ago. So I was like, I'm gonna record a video. I'm gonna record a video outside by the pool, probably swim a little bit later, hit the gym, and bust out the old DSLR. So this video is about Chinese New Year. What is it like to be in China during Chinese New Year? It's kind of appropriate because I came outside, and this happens to me a lot when I'm traveling in different countries. Like I'm outside of China, and then all of a sudden I want to record a video, and then a Chinese family shows up and sort of starts operating behind me. So the kids behind me were speaking Mandarin earlier. Their mom was here, and I was just like, yeah, typical, of course. I can never escape China. All right, without further ado, here's the video.
Water, colors, falling down the page. I thought of something, but don't know how to say. Even though I travelled on the train, even if I'm standing all the way. I'm bored of summers, if you're there in the rain.
Dreaming, you won't believe it. Like when it feels new but they're old feelings. Run flows for the whole evening. If I kick ball, I'd score goals for the whole season. Let it run like watercolours. Walk down the road and I thought of something. Real talk, I ain't talking rubbish. I've been here for 24 summers. There's a lot to be happy for here. I ain't seen you in 3 or 4 years. Came to my show and it was more clear. What I knew then wasn't what I saw here. At the end of it all, you're more happy. They say that it's just a word, but you're family. That makes my mum pleased too. You don't need me as much as I need you.
All right, so let's start with what is Chinese New Year. So for a lot of people that don't know, there's obviously what you would call the Lunar New Year, which is the typical January 1st. And then Chinese New Year typically comes about a few weeks to a month, maybe even a month and a half after that, depending on their calendar. So they have the Chinese calendar. And basically what happens is it's sort of like Christmas mixed with New Year, mixed with like Thanksgiving, where the families all come together. They have officially about 2 weeks off, but the country actually shuts down for probably 3 weeks to a month. And if you're talking about suppliers and factories, the factories shut down for a month plus, maybe a month and a half. Not like 100% shut down, but they start to lose their staff a few weeks before Chinese New Year, and they don't get back to 100% capacity in their productions until a few weeks after Chinese New Year is over and the holidays started. So it's not really a normal time to be in China as a foreigner, because like if you're in the cities become empty. Like everybody leaves typically, everybody goes on vacation. The Chinese people that, you have to remember as well, like in any metropolitan city, like you're talking about Guangzhou, Shanghai, Beijing, Hong Kong, whatever. A lot of the people that live there are not from there, right? So they're there for work, they're there for their careers. So when the holiday comes around, what they do is they up and leave and they go and chill with their family for 2-3 weeks in their hometowns. I mean, most of the big cities become a little bit of a ghost town. It's very weird because China is like so busy all the time. Like it's always go, to then just be like very quiet and chilled. It's a little bit eerie, but at the same time, it's pretty cool because what tends to happen is like it almost feels like you have the city to yourself. A city like Guangzhou, which is, I think the population is about 13 to 20 million if you include the surrounding areas, it becomes probably half that capacity, maybe even less than half of the people are around. Chinese New Year is the largest migration of people every year. So I think it's, in the hundreds of millions of people that migrate from the big cities to their small towns. And there's a documentary about it called Last Train Home. So yeah, for me personally, Guangzhou, like I said, is usually very busy, and then during Chinese New Year, it's quiet. So it's nice in some aspects because it slows down, everything slows down. You feel like you have the city to yourself. You don't feel rushed when you're walking around. You don't feel like you're constantly, like if you take the subway and stuff like that, you don't feel like you're constantly bumping into people. But there are some negatives. A lot of the businesses shut down, especially the local mom and pop stores. So like in my area that I used to live in, called Lieda, the district is Lieda, and then the apartments were Lieda Garden, Lieda Hualwen. That area it's like a self-contained apartment block. So there's a bunch of apartments and shops in their grocery stores and little mom and pop convenience stores and all that stuff. The grocery store shuts down. Most of the convenience stores shut down. Even things like dry cleaning and stuff like that shut down, at least for a couple weeks. So during that time period, like there's very limited options. Like you have to travel a little bit more to get some of the things that you'd usually get. The deliveries are slower for people that are familiar with Meituan, which is one of the main delivery apps in China.
We are proud of our mission and will continue the journey of using technology and innovation to help people eat better, live better.
Maybe typically when you ordered something, it would take 10, 15 minutes to be delivered, maybe 20 minutes. During Chinese New Year, it might take 30, 40 minutes. Again, limited options, the stores close earlier. But what tends to happen is the foreign restaurants are open. And a big part of the reason is because a lot of the foreign restaurant owners know that there are people like me who stay behind sometimes. And that's potential business for them. Like if they're one of the few restaurants that's still open, they can take advantage of the fact that nobody else is open. My office closed like for 2-3 weeks, so I can't go to the office. Also same thing about 2 weeks, 3 weeks where the gym is closed. You have to kind of become creative. Like for me, what I ended up doing is I would work from home and then also work from a place like Mikasa. Mikasa, the restaurant, shisha place that I used to frequent all the time, formerly known as Boca. So I'd go to Mikasa a lot. And then in terms of the workout stuff, as you can see, like I would use the outside workout facilities.
Let's give them what they want. I'm on a mission, I'm focusing on my vision. Never see competition, cause all I know is I'm winning. Always knew I was different, I knew it since the beginning. I told them they never listen, but now they see that I'm gifted. I really put in the work, risking for my reward. Put my feet in the dirt and also water the soil. Eat problems for dinner, I'm screaming out, give me more. I know my future is brighter, that's why I gotta endure. Getting hot now, y'all gon' feel the burn. I was patient, I was waiting, now it's finally my turn. You ain't know, you gon' learn. You don't eat, you gon' starve. That's the reason every season I'ma keep on going hard while I'm breathing. Having reason to keep working for it all. Got a family to feed, I gotta be there when they call. Want the house with the lake, with the gates and the cars. Want the wraith with the stars, have it all before I'm gone. I want it all before I'm gone. Keep on grinding till the morn. If you're sleeping on me, keep on snoring. I want it all before I'm gone. I want it all before I'm gone.
Just to keep some functionality, to keep a little bit fit during that time period, because it's very easy when your gym is closed and you're so used to going to the gym to just be like, well, I'm just not going to work out for 2 weeks or whatever, which is not really a good look. And for me, I usually still worked, but the work is different, right? Like I would, instead of working on the manufacturing side of things because you can't work on the manufacturing side of things. You can prep for new productions and stuff like that, but the factories are closed. So what I would tend to do is that's the time when I tend to plan for the year. That's the time when I tend to focus on what I'm going to do content-wise. Like a good example would be this year in 2020, I bought this DSLR during Chinese New Year. I bought a new phone during Chinese New Year so that I could up both my phone recording and the DSLR recording. I set out a new content plan for the year, which kind of got a little bit derailed with the whole COVID-19 thing, but at the same time, I then said, okay, I'm gonna go to Indonesia. I'm gonna take the time to film in a completely different country, a country that a lot of people don't necessarily think of going to unless you're thinking about Bali, but I wanted to go to Jakarta and Indonesia, get both flavors. So yeah, it just tends to be a time when I kind of reflect on the business and sort of plan out a little bit more. I think we hired our content editing marketer around that time as well. Yeah, I do quite a few things during Chinese New Year, but it's all more big picture sort of work on the business. And it's cool, it's nice to be able to take the time to plan out things a little bit more in terms of the content side of things. I was in China for 5 years. I experienced Chinese New Year in China probably 2 or 3 out of the 5 years. Some of them was like half and half. I was there at the beginning and I left, and then I left at the beginning and came back just before or just after the actual holiday. The New Year itself is typical. There's fireworks, there's gifts exchange, there's, you know, festivities, food and all that stuff. But as foreigners in the city, you end up like meeting people that you normally wouldn't hang out with. That's what I found for myself, is because most of my friends were gone. So I ended up meeting new people, which is always fun. You end up just I discovered like new restaurants, new offices, new lounges, new coffee shops that I usually wouldn't go to, because you just venture out into the city a little bit more. And you just kind of enjoy the calmness. But I will say this, for me, after experiencing it about 2 years in a row, I found like my productivity level start to go down. I mean, I think it's definitely a good experience, especially if you live in China, to be able to see the contrast, or have lived in China to be able to see the contrast. But I think you can actually be a little bit more productive if you maybe do a little bit of Chinese New Year and then leave, like I've been doing in the last couple of years. Because when I went to Bali and Jakarta, I was able to take myself out of China and think about other things and create some great content and still do the same things that I would usually do, which is the reflection and the sort of yearly planning and reviews and stuff like that. So that's it. That's my little diatribe on Chinese New Year. Signing off from Icon Plaza swimming pool area. Hopefully the noise in the background isn't too crazy. If you like this kind of content, like, comment, share, subscribe. And I will see you guys next week.
I was, but guess I weren't on the same page as all the others. It's not that deep. I recognise you from the things in my dreams. I know that it's hard, but breathe. I still make tunes from the things that I see.